Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is Out of Bounds. It is me, Joe Pisapia, with my two best friends, the Scott Bogman and the Welsh, and it's all of you hanging out on the Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's the place to be, where we hang out every single Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can watch us live. If you subscribe, you get rid of all of those stupid ads, and if you're watching on our YouTube channel, cool, awesome, we appreciate you. Make sure you follow us over there as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And remember, we're giving away free stuff, not just because it's Thanksgiving and it's out of the goodness of our hearts. We always do giveaways. Show everyone, Sal, this week's giveaway. What do we have here for the people? Oh, it's the teeny tiny loser belt. That's right, for the loser in your league. Only from Trophy Smack. That's right, the #1 destination for epic fantasy football hardware. This can be yours. And remember, if you subscribe to the Twitch, you get a 1.5 times odds boost of winning the teeny tiny loser belt. No losers here. All winners. Sometimes we just get tired of winning so much. So a lot going on here, boys. So much happening right now in the world of NFL. So much news. I almost don't know where to start, but I'm going to kick things off here with the start of Shedeur Sanders, because I think there's some implications there, especially now. We got the news just recently. Dillon Gabriel is cleared to play, but he ain't going to play. So Shedeur, takeaways from yesterday. Obviously, it was against the Raiders, so we'll keep it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Not a great team. More on them in a second. Welsh, what'd you think of the Shedeur start on the road? First time out there with a week to work with the ones.
Looked like a college quarterback being thrown into an NFL setting is about fair. What it was.
How dare you?
He made one really great throw to Isaiah Bond, which everyone will focus on. He also made one of the most bonehead dumbass interception throws to it. He saw no defenders near him. Like, he's a young quarterback. I think he deserves more credit than being given to, that he's like, he's a 3 and all this stuff. But he also is not that great. Like, wasn't using his feet a whole bunch. He had a couple shining spots. Definitely didn't help Jerry Jeudy making one of the stupidest plays of 2025 as we kind of lead out to the year. But I would give it like a C+ outing. It is a raw quarterback with skills that could be good someday, but let's not pretend that like he is the next coming.
No, he is not.
That's how I would say it.
Not the next coming, but probably the best that they have in house. Speaking of the comings, there's also the goings. Being on the other side, finally Chip Kelly gone, and we've been railing against this for weeks and weeks. I did not know this, Boggs, until the firing happened, that he was the highest paid offensive coordinator in football. Did you know that? Because I didn't know that. That blew my mind.
Did you know Chip Kelly was in the NFL too? Did you know he was even doing anything?
Listen, Chip Kelly, any offensive coordinator that allows Geno Smith to pass the ball 44 times is going to get fired. I think that was pretty obvious. You just went and you got a workhorse. You have to run the ball. And, with the defense not being completely fixed yet, they're working on it. It's better, but it's still not completely fixed. You need to control the clock. This is why you went out and drafted Ashton Jeanty that high. So it just wasn't working, and they get behind too quick, and you have to throw the ball, and Geno just makes massive mistakes still. So it's not like going to Kenny Pickett's going to get that even better, but I don't know. I was more impressed with Shedeur, I guess, than maybe you guys were, but it's probably because a Cleveland C+ is, or C+ in Cleveland is like an A- anywhere else, right?
Impressed you? What impressed you besides that
the
one
fact
throw?
that he was the first rookie quarterback to win in Cleveland in their debut in like 17 years.
He definitely played. His 11 completions played a huge role in that win.
Hey,
right?
Listen, they won. That's all that
win.
Matters in Cleveland is just win. So and this is kind of how we thought this was going to go the entire way anyway. It was going to be Joe Flacco until he got hurt or traded, I guess. So Joe Flacco, and then they were going to go to Gabriel because they drafted him first. And then when that didn't work out, they were going to see what Sanders had at the end of the year. This is exactly the game plan that was going to happen. So you give him a long enough leash to suck 2-3 more starts, and you go back to Dillon Gabriel, and then you decide, okay, we don't have the answer on our roster. We have to start this whole process over again, and that's what's going to end up happening.
He gives me anxiety, by the way. Just like his interviews. Did you see his interview after?
Well, because you're afraid you're going to cringe?
Oh,
what gives you anxiety
he's just
about it?
He's just like,
I'm the guy that they've been waiting for. I'm the guy. Yeah, I was like, well, you threw for 209 yards. That's cute against the Raiders. It's fine.
There's something off. There's something very like Adderall-y about him. Like he's very like he's very hyper, and I don't know. It's very
Hey man,
not
he's a kid who
self-aware.
just won his first NFL game. His dad was in the stadium. And remember,
Yeah,
the
listen,
Raiders had a
maybe I'm
chance
too
to
old.
draft him. And
It's
remember,
not
there was
too
a
old.
discussions about the Raiders drafting him, and then they didn't. So maybe it's a little personal, like, yeah, I'm going to go out and show you a little bit. And he got the W, so kudos to
Are
him.
we surprised that Deion Sanders' son is dripping with confidence, right? Like Deion Sanders
enough.
was always had crazy
Yeah.
confidence, so obviously he instilled that on his kid. So it's probably a little overboard, just like Deion was himself. He's not Deion, but wet blanket Welsh is here again, bruh. Come on, let us just be
Bruh.
happy for Cleveland for
No,
once.
you
I
can
didn't
be cla-
realize-
you can.
Is Adderall an adverb? I'm not even sure. Like,
Yes,
what is it?
of
Yeah,
course.
okay. There you go.
Yeah, I'm
Going
not
back
saying
to
it is. It's
English
just
101.
it's this very it's this weird energy that he's giving off in that whole thing. I mean, you would have thought he just won the Super Bowl. He's like, man, one practice. Imagine 2 practices. Can you imagine 3 practices? He became the count.
Not
Chocula or
one,
whatever.
not two, not
3,
three, not 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, everybody who's here, again, drop your questions in there. We'll get to some Q&A in a second. And we love having your fact or fiction, so drop them in there as well. We'll get to them at the end of the show. So, again, everybody who's watching on the Twitch live with us right now, drop your fact or fiction questions, fantasy-related, football-related, just Thanksgiving-related. I don't care. We'll do all of it today. We're having a fun day today. Also fired, not just the only, not an OC, but also a DC, too. Shane Bowen, finally. I don't know how many more leads the Giants could possibly blow this year, but eventually... it's bad when the interim head coach is like, yo, we got to fire this other guy. Like, how many times have you seen that happen in your life, right? I don't think I've ever heard of that or seen that. And they're like, well, it kind of came from Kafka
No.
that it was done. So it's like, Kafka's been there for one game. What?
There it is. There it is.
What?
You froze. You had a bad freeze there, and you didn't know. You were like, and you were there for a little bit.
I think it was just my attitude about it. But anyway, look, Bowen's out. I will say this, though. That game was very entertaining, as is everything that Jameis Winston is a part of. It was a very fun game to watch. I enjoyed the Jameis Winston. At one point, too, I shared the same sentiment. Pat and I were talking about it at the end of the Waiver Wire show yesterday, where it took us a split second to go, who's that guy that just caught that ball out there and is running for a touch? Oh, wait, it's Jameis Winston. Like, that was great. that made my day. It made my afternoon. It was really fun in terms of, like, just... I don't know, the energy that he brings to the games, but it was another game that just slipped through the fingers of the Giants. They could easily be a 5-6 win team right now.
Would you say that was a great moment? Maybe like someone would pick that as their moment of the week?
I don't know. I don't look at empty shoes.
I know. Yeah, I was just curious. You said it was such a cool moment, maybe the best of the week. Maybe someone would have picked it as their moment of the week when a host asks. I don't know. Just putting that out
It's
there.
the only thing that Welsh has gotten to the sheet ahead of us to put on in like 6 weeks. It's the only thing. And Joe still throws him right under the bus.
The only thing. I
It's
finally
my
got it. I didn't want someone to take it. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get it. And yes, I agree with you. It was an awesome moment. One of the coolest plays ever.
Well, good. Now we saved some stuff
Jameis
from time.
Winston.
We don't have to worry about it later in the show.
We did.
All right, let's go to Rose's question here. Do you think Sampson is worth a stash? What do you think?
Yes, 100%. I mean,
I agree.
He looked great. And I know they said that Judkins is probably going to be fine and all that, but I think he's a good stash. He's very explosive, obviously showed off. He reminds me of Devin Singletary coming out of college. Like, very explosive, maybe can get tracked down, but a lot of dancing in the backfield. So a lot of negative plays, but a lot of big burst plays as well.
But wouldn't you agree, Boggs, too? Like, Shedeur Sanders' theoretical strong point is, he gets rid of the football quick.
Handing the
doing
ball
that, handing the ball up. But both of those things work well with Dylan Sampson, right? Like a guy that you could just, get rid of that ball out and flat to real quick.
Short out,
and all that stuff.
get him in space. Absolutely.
Another question from Rose 2. Panic meter on Justin Jefferson. This is a cheer question. J.J. McCarthy, by the way, is in concussion protocol. Welsh, would you like to take this one from here?
Yeah, I mean, panic meter might be bigger when J.J. McCarthy's out there. J.J. McCarthy is not it. Like, he might be it at some point. Like, I'm definitely, I'm not a book closed type of guy. Like, even Shedeur Sanders, like, I'm making fun. He could end up like making big improvements and be a really good player. J.J. McCarthy has some of the intangibles. Not this year. He looks horrifically bad. Like, his decision making in the pocket, you know what he looks like? He did this like 3 times in this game I watched. He looks like he hikes the ball, he comes back, and then it's like his controller unplugs and he just freezes and he doesn't move. And it's like guys are coming around him and it's like you got to move around the pocket a little bit.
My
and
controller died.
The pocket collapses on him every single time. Really bad decision making. So like JJ McCarthy as a general, he is not it for this year. He is clearly putting a panic meter on Justin Jefferson. If he's out, I don't know. Sometimes the backup quarterback comes in and just slang it to Justin Jefferson. I would say overall, Jefferson is looking hard for him to be a top 10 wide receiver rest of year right now.
It sure is. But I think we talked about last week that this was like the worst case scenario for him to go on the road in an in-division game to Green Bay at this stage of his development. Like it was just going to be a hot mess. And it was. It was exactly what it was. PPR in a vacuum, would you drop White and Godwin to pick up Vidal and Rodriguez or Bill? What do you think of this question, Boggs?
I would drop White for Vidal. Godwin for Rodriguez or Bill. I mean, you can if you really need an option at running back. Get C-Rod, for the touchdown upside. But I think definitely on White. Godwin is a little more maybe-ish.
And look, Baker Mayfield obviously going to miss some time too, I would imagine. So I mean,
Bucky might be back though.
They actually said he might play this week.
What they said was if he's good until Friday, he will play. That's what Todd Bowles said. So unless he has a setback before Friday, he is going to play. That is what Bowles said this morning. So,
well, they got their butt kicked last night. That's for sure.
I don't know if I believe that, but that was what he said this morning. So
yeah, and that's one of those things too. Like they are on a bad spot, and like this is they lost to the Lions. They lost to the Patriots. I know in between there was a bye week and the Saints game, but it's been a lot of losing for the Bucs lately. And they're almost, and it's just like one after another, and then last night was just.
Seems like Mike Evans is still pretty important, huh?
It seems like Mike Evans is still pretty important, but also paramount is the health of the quarterback too.
Bucky too.
You can't have and Bucky. You lose enough of these pieces, eventually it starts to show up in these games, but also defensively. I mean,
who is that corner?
Rough.
Who?
Zion
oh my
McCollum.
God! Oh
Dude,
my God!
I had
you're
Zion
talking about
McCollum.
Mike Evans here. That guy is a turnstile. Oh my God!
Well, Devontae Adams is also really good.
He's really good, but that corner, he was frustrated.
Dude,
he stood there and he was just like take me out,
dude. I had Zion McCollum in an IDP league, thinking, man, he sucks. He's going to get so many tackles. They were just touchdowns instead of tackles.
Yeah.
So he didn't get any tackles. Ridiculous.
He's bad.
All right, what did you guys think of the comeback yesterday, too? Let's talk about the Cowboys and Eagles game there, too. That was my upset special of the week. It was looking a little dicey at halftime, but we went upstairs to have some pizza and stuff, and my mom came over to see the girls a little bit, and a little visit, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let this simmer. I feel like this is not done. I still feel like the Eagles are broken. Let's see what the Cowboys are made of. I come back downstairs as the fourth quarter, and it's 21-21. I'm like, yes, this is exactly it. Let's go. Let's have it out there. Certainly a couple moments in that game, too, where if you're looking at Saquon Barkley, another turnover there. Saquon hasn't had a run of 15 yards or more in the last 3 weeks. So, Welsh, I'm going to ask you this question here. Is it time for the Philadelphia Eagles to start opening up this offense and just making Jalen Hurts throw the football more at this point? Because whatever they're trying to do on the ground, it ain't working the way it was last year, and I think it's time to pivot.
Yeah, it's been like that for weeks and weeks and weeks. And frankly, that's where the game was able to start. I mean, what was their first play? A.J. Brown. That was my touchdown special on the prop show. A.J. Brown, boom, touchdown. He finally had a week. They have needed to be a balanced offense. It's great that they can run. Jalen Hurts sneaks, tush pushes, Saquon Barkley. It's all great. But the whole point of that and having such great run game and offensive line should be to also be able to set up a balanced offense to run play action, two great receivers that can stretch the field. And I don't know. I still to this moment don't know what. I don't know if it's Jalen Hurts is not capable of it. Offensive coordinators are too stubborn. If they don't trust something in, I don't know what that is. But they've always needed to open this up. And what was that first quarter? They found success. They threw the ball. Defensively, they were rocking. Like they were putting all the pieces together. And I just don't know why they backtrack. And that's what they did. They just like, okay, we're going to back to running. Like, what can you do about Saquon having his first fumble in God knows how long? Like, that's bad luck. The special teams play we're going to talk about. Like, there's a couple bad luck things that happen in there, sure. But it was foot on the gas, and then they just stalled out. And multiple. I don't understand why they do this and why they can't find some innovation in their offense when you have the pieces. Not like they don't have the pieces. They've got the pieces, and they just keep going down this road.
Boggs, this is a huge game here on Thanksgiving Day in the middle of the day where you've got Dallas Cowboys hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Both teams desperately need this game, I feel like. I feel like this is the best slate of 3 games that we've ever had on Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm being hyperbolic, but I'm thinking about all 3 of them going, all right, well, Lions, Packers, that's always going to be good. And it's in Detroit, and there's going to be scoring because it's in Detroit, and I know Love's banged up, so we'll see. Maybe, the limitations this week don't carry over for next week. He didn't have to do a whole lot against the Vikings, just hand the ball off to Emmanuel Wilson a million times, and that worked. But then you've got this incredible game in the middle, and then at night, the return, theoretically, of Joe Burrow against the Ravens in-division opponent. That's a huge game always between those 2 rivals. But this middle game here, Boggs, like the Cowboys, George Pickens has played out of his mind. The Cowboys defensively have gotten better since that trade deadline too, right? They're getting better against the run a little bit. They're slowing things down a little bit there. This is going to be fascinating because there's a part of me that thinks the Cowboys are capable of going on a run.
In the NFL?
You know what? I think it's the most explosive. I think that's okay to say, right? What do you think?
I mean,
are they the
who's
best
better?
Offense?
Name me a better offense than the Cowboys.
I mean, are the Rams better?
The Rams.
I think the
Rams
are
are
the best.
really good. Are they better?
The Rams, I'd say, are the best football team right now. Like, if you said who's the best team in the NFL,
I'll agree with
it's the
that.
Rams.
Like the defense
on both sides of the ball
sucks for Dallas. Even with the improvements, it's still below average, right?
Agreed.
But that offense might be the best unit in the game right now.
It's one of the best. It's one of
the best.
It's probably top 3 in the NFL if you were to put these pieces together. I mean, we didn't really get to see it, and it's probably stupid, but I don't know, the Bengals when Joe Burrow's going, Higgins and Chase Brown, if all the pieces were working, there's something there. But that's beside the point. But right now, I would say the only 2 I can think of are the Rams and the Cowboys. They're the first immediate to mind.
If you look at scoring right now, total touchdowns on the year, the Colts have 40. Jonathan Taylor has 27 of those, I think. The Lions are 40. The Bills at 39. The Rams at 39.
Lions are very good.
Lions would be the other top 3.
Yeah, but the Lions are very inconsistent. They are great at home, not so great on the road. And I guess you could say the same about the Cowboys. Yeah. Right. The Patriots are at 37. If you told me the Patriots and the Cowboys had the same amount of touchdowns this year, I would have thought you were nuts. I never would have thought that in my brain, but they have. And I think that's a really... Drop your comments in here on the Twitch. Who has the best offense right now in the NFL? Is it the Cowboys? Is it one of these other teams? Black Mamba says Rams 100%.
Joe with the most leading question of all time. Is it the Cowboys or is it these other stupid things that you guys would think? You only said the Cowboys. Cowboys, Rams, Lions. I think those are the top 3.
Joe can be my lawyer anytime.
if you don't lead the herd to the water, how they're gonna die. They need to drink. Welsh. They need to drink.
They're all stupid. They'll never find it themselves, obviously.
Rams for sure. Bergman taking it seriously, saying the Saints. That's what I mean. This is what I want. This is what I want. A little bit of everything here.
Tyler Shuck's got those boys rolling.
He sure does. All right, let's get to takeaways and maybe a couple moments from myself and Bogman, since Welsh already talked about his takeaway. Well, in all fairness, Welsh, you kind of stole my takeaway thunder, so I'll keep this brief. The Vikings might be rebuilding next year. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but defensively, they have not played well. The quarterback situation is a big, giant question mark. So they let Darnold walk. They put all the eggs in the McCarthy basket. I think, to Welsh's point earlier, that doesn't look good right now. So at the very least, you're going to get some sort of veteran. Now, if Jacoby Brissett walks because Arizona has a clearing of the house and everybody there, maybe, you give me Jacoby Brissett with Justin Jefferson, I'm going to be a very happy boy.
Let me ask you that.
I'm good with that.
Let me ask you on this, because I think it's a key thing.
Sure.
Have a definitive take on J.J. McCarthy. Is he it, or do you think he is going to be the guy and he's going to be a top 10 quarterback, or is he just not good?
At the risk, look, I don't want to go full Stephen A here because I don't like that stuff, because I think the real honest answer.
Do it.
What you got to understand, Welsh, is that we are at a point right now in J.J. McCarthy's development where we are looking at a young man who isn't getting an opportunity, who hasn't played football in a year, and now you're asking him in the middle of the season? In the middle of the season, you're asking him to get up there and make these plays? He ain't going to be able to do it. He can't do it. No, but seriously, I think the problem is you're asking him after a year of not playing football to come in kind of mid-season and get that development, learning on the job, and it's going to be so many growing pains. the thing you wanted to see, I think, was moments where you go, yeah, okay. And you saw one, I remember, against the Bears early on in the season, moments where you go, okay, yeah, there's glimmers of hope here that we can get through this rough patch this year, and we're going to have growing pains, and then next year, by the end of the season, you're going to get a kid, and we're going to go. I haven't seen enough of those, so I am panicked about it.
And I think, like, that's, like, the Drake May thing. Like, last year, it was like, yeah, Drake May was fine, you know.
But Drake May made some plays.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
It's
like, Drake May's rookie year to J.J. McCarthy this year, they don't look remotely close to the same thing. And, like, I'm not trying to say J.J. McCarthy is the worst thing in the world, but, like, he doesn't look good. So if you are sitting here talking about this rebuild and they would consider bringing in another quarterback,
oh, how about this one from
doesn't
Brent?
work.
What about Winston on the Vikings? You like Winston?
But this does mean you think, and they would think he is nothing, because the only reason you bring in a guy like Winston, maybe not Winston, but like a Jacoby Brissett, or, you know, it would be a Mac Jones or something, is because you do not believe McCarthy is the future.
Yeah, well, look, my takeaway is I think the Vikings have a lot of soul searching to do. They went from being a team that was looking like they were on the uptick here, going big time up there, and then all of a sudden falling out. Now, speaking of falling out, did Scott Bogman fall out? Or
yeah, Bogman, why'd you disappear?
He must have clicked the wrong button. In the meantime, if you haven't already, join our Discord. Again, fantasypros.com/chat. That's where you can go and keep the conversation going, and you can talk with some of your best friends or make new friends. Again, if we're talking waiver wires, if we're talking trades, if we're talking dynasty, whatever it might be, there's baseball on there too. There's NBA stuff. Everything's on our Discord. But mostly football, because that's what we do. So fantasypros.com/chat, that's the place to be. And it looks like Bogman's back. So Boggs, I want you to explain your George Pickens take. See, there we go. We just, boom. Now everything's back to normal. I want all of this to stay on the YouTube. I want no edits. This is why we do the show the way we do.
This
it.
will be
Boggs,
interesting. The power went out here. We're having massive thunderstorms for
Boggs,
animals 2x2.
I was just about to, like, I don't know if I agree in, because what you did, the reason we were talking about JSN is because you left JSN off this elite wide receiver group, and he's better
maybe it was an accident.
than everybody.
Maybe
but
he just thinks JSN is higher than everybody.
I don't know if, like, I don't think I agree that the Pickens has to be in the Puka and the Chase and stuff like that. I think he's maybe the tier below, but I really thought it was interesting, and that's what I was about to ask Joe, is like, is Pickens better than Lamb at this point? Lamb has just been Mr. Drops all season, kind of inconsistent, and Pickens is the pillar of consistency right now. I know Dredis was talking about George, I think it was CeeDee Lamb earlier in the chat, but like, is it Pickens over Lamb at this point for you, Boggs? Because you're putting him in that group, but what do you think?
I mean, in the group, and yes, you're right. JSN, at 2 a.m. in the morning last night, I did forget to add his name.
No, it's because you don't like him. You just don't like him.
I apologize to you guys about that, and to everyone else for my power going down. How dare I not get a generator back up to immediately bounce that? But look,
if you were a real patriot, you'd have that backup. You'd be in that shelter and the thing with all the cans of food.
If I was a real patriot, I'd be stealing it from my neighbor. But anyway, look, I just think that, who's number 2 in scoring right now? It's in half PPR, in points per game. It is 17 for Puka and George Pickens behind the 19.5 per game for JSN. So he's right there. I think, obviously we had CeeDee Lamb have the injury early in the season, and maybe he's still not 100% from that, and even with the injury, he's still amazing. So better than Lamb, I don't know, but they at least have to be in the same category. Pickens has been tearing it up, and this is his first year with Dak. I think it's only going to get better moving forward. So that's
you're going to rank him that next year? Like if he leaves the Cowboys, you're going to put him... Okay.
See, my question about Pickens, Boggs, is when he gets paid, what happens? Because like these guys always ball out when the money's on the line, then they get paid. And this guy has a long history going back to the Georgia days of being a problem child. So like that's my deal. It's like this.
Then they get hurt, and then they get their contracts voided, and they won't play, and they wear different shorts, and they're a problem. And they went to ASU. Yep.
If you want to put Pickens down a rung because of his antics, whatever you want to call it, attitude, whatever, I completely agree with that. And that's why the Steelers got rid of him. Do you know he has more receiving yards than every Steelers wide receiver combined right now? He has like 1044. It's like 1,009 for all the Steelers wide receivers combined right now. So the talent has always been upper echelon for Pickens. The brain has been 10 cents. If you can get that fixed, then he's going to be great. He's going to be one of the best.
Things you can't fix. Then I don't think that's getting fixed. Broly's got a question. Egbuka or Tet rest of season, boys? Let's help him out.
I'll go Egbuka still, but
I still go Egbuka also.
This is on the heels of like this game is going to be tonight. Tetairoa might have 47 receptions versus the Niners, but I'll go Egbuka.
Well, I mean, yeah, talk about turnstiles, man. That's where they are. All right, Bog, so give us your moment, and then I'll give you mine, and we can move on to some other fun things with
We
the
all know
audience.
mine.
TJ Watt, TJ Watt passing his brother, JJ Watt, on the all-time sack list was pretty cool to see, even in a loss. It was also a strip fumble in the end zone that Herbig fell on for a touchdown, and JJ Watt was calling the game. His whole family, like the whole Watt family, was there. This was just a pretty cool moment to see, because Welsh obviously picked the best moment of Jameis Winston scoring that touchdown and hitting the Heisman naturally, a little bit of a natural Heisman pose in that run.
Welsh,
One of the
when he's got the size and he had a little bit of moves too. Would you throw him out there as a slot receiver and like an Aronde
Taysom
Gaston
Hill
kind of
Hell
role?
yeah, dude. Taysom
I would
Hill.
too.
You know what I kept
good.
thinking about? The whole game, I kept thinking about I wanted to go live bet a rushing touchdown because there's only like, if I could definitely have this incorrect. I think there's only 2 players in NFL history that have thrown, caught, and rushed for a touchdown in NFL history. Do you guys know who those 2 players are? There might be more, but there's 2 in my mind.
Jerry Rice has to be one of them.
Jerry Rice is 100% number 1. That's right. Yeah, you got
Tomlinson.
that is number 2. Yeah, that's right. Those 2 both have thrown.
That was like the
caught,
first one
and
that popped
rushed.
in my head. Rice, I wouldn't have gotten necessarily.
Yeah,
LT.
Jerry did it.
My other one would have been Walter Payton because he used to throw the football a lot. Too,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, Jerry did it. But I was thinking Winston's got to rush for a touchdown right now. He's got to do the whole thing. But yeah, he looked fantastic. It was the coolest play I've seen all year.
All right, drop your fact and fictions, and everybody, we're going to play that next. Again, it could be whatever fact and fictions you want. It could be NFL related, fantasy related, whatever you like to do. Mine was Elijah Clark's special teams play. I had the Jahmyr Gibbs in there originally because that was pretty awesome. But that was more like, I can't believe the Giants couldn't get a single hand on this guy ever. It was stunning to watch that defense just collapse. And look, Jahmyr Gibbs is great. But first play of the overtime, not a hand on him, 80 yards. I mean, bro. Like, let's get real.
Did you see
here.
the meme of the warthog just running past the Lions? And the Lions being like, "What is this? Why are you running in front of us?" Like they couldn't believe the audacity.
I did not see that one.
I saw it said Jahmyr Gibbs running past the Giants defense in overtime.
So
And
instead,
they
I went
used
with
that.
special. I gave a special teamer the award this week because if you watch the replay there, he's the gunner on the return team there, and he is getting his butt kicked. He has got knocked down like 3 times on the way to find the returner, and he still pursues, and he gets to the returner, pops him, knocks the ball out, and I was just like, that is effort, and that's just, again, effort on the football field. All times, every play, there's a moment where you can make something happen, and that was a great thing to see, and I think that's the kind of moments that start me to wonder, maybe the Cowboys do have a little run in them. This could be really interesting. All right, I'm going to give you a fact or fiction because I see a bunch of them falling in here. Fact or fiction, last night, Matthew Stafford solidified his MVP odds. It's him now. Scott Bogman, is it over at MVP, fact or fiction?
Absolutely not. Still a lot of season left,
Okay.
so no way.
All right, Welsh, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I had my solo screenshot on Matthew Stafford talking here. I think he has it right now, but I don't think it's like done. Drake is a couple weeks. We need a couple big ones coming up here, but Drake May can definitely vie for it. But I do think he is the front runner right now.
Yeah,
for
sure.
And
He's the
holding
front
on,
runner,
and
but
he's holding on to it pretty tight.
And he's never
Not
won
a lot.
one, and it's like it's like Al Pacino
It'd be the
winning
nice
for
send-off,
Scent of a
yeah.
Woman. Is it his best film? No. But it's, eventually you give him an award. You give him an Oscar because he's Al Pacino. Same thing here with Matthew Stafford. Here's one from Axel. Fact or fiction? We need to give Caleb his flowers. Oh, this was so tough for me because the Bears are the Bears. Come back to me on this one. Well,
What do you mean come back to you? They're 8-3.
I got to tell you, like I was like, how the hell did the Bears become 8-3? I wasn't locked
Because
into
teams
it or
like the
whatever it was.
Giants collapse around them. And
No,
teams
no, I
like the
understand
Vikings
that.
collapse around. Like, they're playing the teams that you look at them and you look at the schedule and you go, they suck. They were all teams that were supposed to be better than they
Yeah,
are.
but that's
and they're
the
getting
Bear-
them in a row.
And that's always the Bears. The Bears are always the
I know,
team that you're like,
you're
they
right.
suck, we can beat them. What I'm getting at, like, I just haven't been paying attention to like standings or whatever, and obviously I knew the Bears were being good, but I was like, wow, they're 8-3. Caleb is making a bunch of better decisions. Again, why guys like J.J. McCarthy and Shedeur and everybody, can progress as you learn the NFL more and it slows down for you. That was clearly something that needed to happen to Caleb. He's still great on his feet. He's taking advantage of spots you need to take advantage of. I do think Caleb deserves those flowers because he's had some big games and some big spots, and he's leading this team into some big stuff. I mean, Bears playoff team is not something that many would have expected.
All right, Boggs, what are your thoughts? You want to give him the flowers, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, this team is great, and they surrounded him with talent,
Great?
which is what you're supposed to
Is
do.
it great? Do you think it's a great team, the Bears?
I think they're a very good team. I think they have easily a shot to win this division. So, and it's a great division. You have to say that. I mean,
it's a great division. I think they're an improved
good.
team. I think the word I want to use is improved.
They need help on defense, but Caleb, like, listen, this is the game plan. This is what the Browns have never done for a quarterback. You get the quarterback, and then you immediately surround him with weapons. That's what the Lions did when they got Goff as well. So you put the best weapons around that guy to give him no excuses to fail. And now that he has great playmakers, he's not failing. And the numbers aren't like incredibly better. I think his turnover-worthy plays, turnover-worthy play percentage is a little bit higher than it was last year, but they make the plays around him. Montez Sweat is getting to quarterbacks. It's working.
Yeah, you get young quarterbacks, guys really like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and Aaron Jones, and they just easily succeed. That's what you do.
But the difference is that McCarthy had to sit his entire rookie year and then most of his second year so far. So we got to give McCarthy a little bit of runway, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's injuries there as well. Life with 5 factor fiction. Drake Maye will be a mediocre fantasy QB going forward. I say fiction, and it's not because I'm a Patriots guy.
Is the schedule terrible for the Patriots moving forward?
No, I mean they have to play Baltimore. They have another game coming up too against a good team. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to look at the schedule if you want to pull that up. But
this week they've got the Giants.
Yeah, so I mean they're going to put up points against the Giants. That's for sure. Everybody puts up points against the Giants. It was also good to see yesterday.
Giants,
finally,
Bills, Ravens, Jets.
Bills. That was the other one. They had another Bills.
Well, they have the bye week too.
So you know how he becomes a mediocre quarterback? It's actually, I mean, I've tried to give Fitzy his flowers on this all year long because he's the guy that's like he could be a top 5 guy. But my problem in the preseason with Drake Maye was always like the argument around it was like, well, he's going to run more and they're going to do all these new designs, and they don't. But they don't, and they still don't. So like for him to be mediocre, I think what happens is they are in situations for games that he doesn't have to do a lot, like playing a team like the Giants, maybe not this week, but the Giants, they've got a running game that's working. He doesn't run the whole season long. They haven't designed stuff for him. So if they can win games where they can control the clock, he doesn't have to throw a bunch. They can give the ball to Travion Henderson. He kind of does become a mediocre quarterback if he's throwing 230 with 1 touchdown every single game. Like that's you need him to be slinging the ball. So you actually kind of want a little bit more competitive. That's just like a devil's advocate conversation to it. I would agree. Sure. I'm going to say reasonable. No, because I just think he's super talented. But there is something about the weapons around him, his inability to want to run or the team to design runs that kind of like caps some of the value. And at this day and age, you kind of need to throw 2 touchdowns and go 220, 240 in every game typically. To be in like the top 10.
Well, that's what's so stunning, Welsh, is that he was, going into this week, he was leading the league in passing yards, right? Without having one 300-yard game. So that's just tell you like the consistency of what he's doing every week.
There's like 8 straight games of 2 touchdowns, and like that's just going away as well. That's what makes him kind of mediocre.
Last 5 games, he's QB 11. He's QB 7 on the season. So he definitely ballooned like week 3 to week 7. There was like his great pocket, but he's still going to be a QB1. So between him and Dak,
I thought he would be a top 10 guy. Fitzy was even higher than me, but like 10 is like. If he finishes as 10, that's exactly where I thought he would be at the end of the year.
Somebody has him and Dak. Like, that's just a great problem to have, right? Is, who do you start every single week?
Yeah, but see, I always go with Dak because, again, the liability that's the Cowboys' defense from a fantasy perspective, I just always feel there's always going to be the need, like to Welsh's point, there's going to be more need to press in those games, whereas the Cowboys.
And you get up 21, you're handing that ball to Henderson and Stevenson a bunch.
And thank God we're not getting it to Stevenson as much, too. That was a great thing to see. This is a funny one from Rose. I just want to throw this out there. Fact or fiction, Kami Fairbairn keeps outperforming my tight ends. I'm going to say fact because you dropped that question. All right, that's probably a fact, everybody. I'm just guessing out there. Let's go to Money's question here. Fact or fiction, the Texans win their division over the Colts, Boggs?
No, false. I think the Colts are still pretty good, and they choked that game against the Chiefs. They should have won that. That's still a really good team. Texans just don't have enough on offense right now. I think Davis Mills has been playing very well. They had the big comeback. Also, that defense is sick, but the defense is sick in Cleveland too. If you don't have enough offense, you can't get the dubs.
This is a very important one.
Texans, by the way, aren't even second in the division. I just want to point out that's the Jags, so that's the
Yeah,
Texans.
that's
I'd
right.
also
Yeah,
say
this-
fiction.
I agree. Fiction all around. Fact or fiction? Chip Kelly's gone. Ashton Jeanty will be unlocked from here on out. I want to say fact, but the schedule is also not great. So, will they unlock him? Yes. Fact, they'll unlock him probably and get him the football more. But I don't know if it's going to equate to him, a lot of top 3 finishes. That's how I feel about it, Welsh. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm going to say like fiction because I think the version of whatever unlocked is for him has already happened where they're throwing him the ball a whole bunch. They're going to be behind in, every single game. So it's going to be hard for them to be running the ball a whole lot in like the third and fourth quarter, and they're already passing him the ball. Maybe. Like, I'm open to it, but like I'm going to say fiction because now we are starting to get a little bit more of it, but the misuse is weird. I don't even know if it's necessarily Chip Kelly.
Yeah, when you fire a coordinator like that, usually you go, okay, let's streamline this offense. Let's just get the ball to our best players. But they've already been doing that. So how much more can you?
Yeah.
So,
Maybe protect the quarterback a little bit more too. Maybe.
don't let him throw 44 times.
And don't let him throw
start.
44 times. Yeah, that also good. All right, let's take a look at the 3-1-1 contest. 300-yard passer, 100-yard rusher, 100-yard receiver. Last week, Bogman, let's see. We got to look here because Stafford didn't. Where did Stafford finish last night? Because I had updated this before Stafford's finish. He was at 273.
Oh, you almost got
you
a
almost got the
3-1-1.
3-1-1. You almost got the full boat.
Wow.
You got 2. You got Gibbs. You got JSN. Good on you. I just got Amon-Ra, and Welsh is just not good at this game. He's just not a big fan
I
of
do
this
have
game.
Tetairoa tonight, but
Oh, that's right. You're
out
still
of
in
this.
play for 1, so we can always update that.
great.
So we'll keep that in mind. So I will highlight that accordingly. Welsh, why don't you kick us off? Try to shake off the mojo a little bit. Give us your
about
3-1-1 for Week 13 in the NFL.
Yeah, I have to have a. First off, I'm always last to this contest ad, so these guys are going to get the big guys. But I also have to make a concerted effort to pick different players than you if I am going to make any type of run. We're about done.
Okay.
Like I have half of what Bogman does, so I need to have some crazy weeks. So I've got a couple are off the wall picks. I'm going with Sam Darnold versus the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Obviously, JSN alone is good for $150 for him. He's just going to have to get the other guys involved. It's heavy pass. Don't think they're going to lean on the run. Sam Darnold, Minnesota, 300. My 100-yard rusher, how about R.J. Harvey versus the Commanders this week? Commanders defense is trash. R.J. Harvey breaks a couple big ones. And then I'm going to go with the return of Joe Burrow. So give me Jamar Chase and the return of Jamar Chase after Spitgate going against the Baltimore Ravens. Give me 100 yards receiving. There's no T. Higgins in that game. Joe Burrow should throw at least 15 times to Jamar Chase. So 300, 100, 100 for very different names than what you guys have. You guys have all the cream of the crop, and I have these guys.
All right. Well, I actually like your guy. I like the Chase take, too, especially because...
I like RJ Harvey, too. It's a good call.
Yeah, well, that would be nice to see. We'll see how everybody reacts. Boggs, where are you going for 3-1-1 this week?
Yeah, if you want to be right. So Josh Allen at Pittsburgh. I just think that, look, they really need to get back on board here. The Steelers secondary is still questionable. They've been playing better recently, but I got Josh Allen in that one. For my 100-yard rusher, after a couple fumbles, I think Saquon's going to want to make up for that. We've also had a lot of injuries to the linebacking core of Chicago, so let's go with Saquon against Chicago on Friday, and then Puka Nacua at Carolina. We know he's going to get 15 targets, so let's go with Puka here against Carolina.
Okay, and for me this week, I'm going to be going with Patrick Mahomes at Dallas. That's right. Thanksgiving 300. Let's go. Then Devon Achane against the New Orleans Saints. Again, fresh off a bye. That's a good thing, I think. And then JSN against Minnesota because, well, I mean, JSN is just playing out of his mind right now. I mean, some of these weeks where he doesn't get 100, he's at like 97. The one other week I feel like I picked him recently, he just missed 100. So hopefully not this time. That's where we want to go. And of course, make sure you subscribe to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/fantasypros, and our YouTube channel as well. Like this video, share it around, and drop your comments below. Remember, we're giving away free stuff. The teeny tiny belt could be yours from Trophy Smack, and that's the loser award for the biggest dumpster fire in your league. It's very funny. It's a good time there. And the holidays are around the corner. Makes a nice little stocking stuffer. That's how it is. So we want everyone to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Again, we appreciate everybody who always joins us live, especially on the show. This is the People's Show. We love when you're here asking your questions, hanging out with us. Again, we appreciate you greatly, and we look forward to seeing you all after Thanksgiving. It's a really great Thanksgiving slate. You got a Black Friday game, too, between two 8-3 teams. That should be great. Sunday's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. And we're going to come back on Monday next week and talk all about it again. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Bogman and the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Adios. Happy Turkey Day.
Happy Great-Giving there.
You put the stuffing inside the bird. That's what you do, Scott Bogman. You put it in there. Do you eat the stuffing out the bird, Bogman? I think you do. You look like a stuffing out the bird kind of guy.